Hi, it's Kristen. So today my inspiration was to use these cute pandas that I got from Cheeky Studios. Um, it's my husband coughing in the background. So I am in a mixed media mood. So this is just some clear gesso that I'm spreading all over. And I'm actually using the rough side of the white paper for no good reason, just because. Spreading it all over because I don't really know. Oh yeah, I do know what I'm doing. I forgot. I did know before I started. I'm going to be using some modeling compound. I'm getting confused with my daughter's slime ingredients. I was going to say model magic, but no, it's modeling compound. I'm going to smush it through a stencil, new to me stencil. I think I got it at Tuesday morning a little while ago. These giant arrow ones. I thought it would be fun. And the picture, I decided I was going to try to tape this in place since I was going to use the entire stencil and not move it around like I typically do. And yeah, it doesn't really stick to the clear gesso very well, but it's worth a try. And it's not straight, so. Okay. So now I take this and smush it through. I really like these arrows. I think they're fun. In my head, when I think of arrows, I think of movement and moving, and this particular picture that I'm going to be scrapping is a picture that we took on a road trip. We just took a one day road trip, the girls and I, to check out a scrapbook store, which was like 2 hours away, not quite 2 hours away, which is probably silly to a lot of people, but we made it really fun. I think we had a really good time. We stopped along the way at all the little towns, and we took a big, like a group selfie with the water tower in the background. So the picture I'm using is actually I cropped out the water tower and just had our faces because I actually took all the pictures from the road trip and made them very small on my Epson PictureMate charm, and I made just little tiny 2x3 or smaller pictures, and I'm going to put them all together in one little traveler's notebook type scrapbook, just because I like to do that for different trips that we take. So now I'm looking at all these cute little pandas and deciding which. I wanted to have 4 since there were 4 of us on this trip. So I'm going through and trying to decide, and I just think they're cute. There's something about them that this layout has nothing to do with pandas. We're not pandas, but you chose a black and white photo and just went with it. Checking if it's dry. Looking at my little trimmer. I'd be curious if anybody watching this has a guillotine style cutter, the Tonic brand. Not sure. I don't know if it's a Tim Holtz Tonic or if it's just a plain tonic. I don't know exactly, but this Creative Memories one I've had for forever. I mean, over 20 years. And I like it. It's still sharp and everything, but it's starting to cut crooked. And I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong now, but I've never had that problem before. So I've just kind of been looking around and shopping, and curious if any of you have a tonic, and if you do you like it? Would it be worth it? Have you ever used the Creative Memories one? Can you compare them at all? Oh, and then I decided to just trim these little guys down. They were standing on kind of like an oval of white, and so I just trimmed that off too. Behind me on my table, I have a basket with all kinds of like words and phrases, mini words, bigger words you could use for titles. that's kind of how I keep them together. So I just went and thumbed through those and found I wanted that word moments on the bottom there, the stickers. And then also the word happy is a puffy sticker. And then since I'm leaving the background pretty plain white, I wanted this picture to stand off the page a little bit, so I just used a little light pink. The couple of the pandas have light pink on their cheeks, so that's where I pulled that in. I didn't want to add a lot of color. I just wanted to kind of keep this pretty much black and white with just a little bit of pink. And then when I peeled these off, this is a Heidi Swap, I believe. Heidi Swap, Dear Lizzie. Let me double check. I think it's Heidi Swap. It's behind me here. No. Maggie Holmes. It's a Maggie Holmes sticker sheet, and those letters are not a solid black. They're a vellum type translucent black sticker. So that will actually work out a little bit better because because of where I'm planning to place them. I think that will look really nice. You'll have to excuse the sunshine. I can't apologize for the sunshine because we have needed the sunshine here in Minnesota to melt our snow and ice. So, but because of where I scrapbook, I have a lot of natural light, and so that sun is shining in. And then this is from a Felicity Jane kit. I used to subscribe to them a long time ago. I kind of have had to stop subscribing to kits because I need to get through some of the stuff I have before getting more. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit more in the background. I'm bravely getting out my black Delusions ink. If any of you follow me and have watched my other videos, there's a video a few back where I spilled half of this bottle on one of my layouts. I managed to save it, salvage it for the most part, but it was really, really heartbreaking. Now, my last video, I kind of didn't remember to make a spot for journaling. I did end up journaling, but it wasn't that well thought out. So this time I wanted to make sure that I wanted to tell this story and get it on there and have a spot for it. So I did my journaling on a little Project Life card ahead of time, and I'm just talking about the road trip and the fun memory. The scrapbook store, by the way, is in a town called Pine City, and it's kind of it's right off of 35W, if anyone's familiar with Minnesota. Goes straight from like the Twin Cities up to Duluth, and it's in between the Twin Cities and Duluth. Pine City is, and I'd say it's worth a stop if you're heading that way. And I fill up the whole card here. I end up trimming off that last sentence just to make it fit my layout better. And then I have this just natural space right here, so I just put a little rectangle and put the date in there. And then accent it with a little, have a really light pink Stedler, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Stedler pen. And because I didn't leave much of a border to attach my journaling card to my picture, I'm just attaching it on the back so it stays together. So then it's easier to move around. There is a little odd corner where it's a straight corner matching up with that rounded corner. I do end up fixing that, or remedying that, covering it up so it's not so obvious. I notice little things like that when I'm doing my layouts. But it doesn't really bother me that it's rounded on, it will be rounded on one side, but not on the other. That didn't bother me for some reason. So I'm attaching these guys here. Put my happy down. Get my pandas. I get to a point where I just have to attach things and not quit messing with them. I could fool around with them forever and the end result will virtually be the same anyway. So, a little self-talk while I do this. Trying to keep them on a pretty straight line. I'm just going to attach moments on here. And that'll be my layout. Happy moments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you haven't. And enjoy the still shots at the end. Thanks for watching. Bye.